Okay, time to review the next Pink Floyd album, A Momentary Lapse of Reason. Where do I even begin with this one? It's a David Gilmour solo album with the Pink Floyd name on it, okay? It's not a Pink Floyd album. David Gilmour's the only member that's on it the whole album. Wright and Mason just did sound effects. They didn't do much of anything. It's the most fakest album ever, just about. It doesn't belong in the Pink Floyd catalog. I think they should have erased it from the discography a long time ago and put it where it belongs, in the Gilmour discography. I mean, I can't believe there's any comparison. The Final Cut versus A Momentary Lapse of Reason. It's no contest. The Final Cut blows this album. The Final Cut blows A Momentary Lapse of Reason to Uranus and back. That's how much it blows it. I've given this album several chances, but once I put it on, I'm like, why am I listening to this crap? It's not Pink Floyd. You know, I could be listening to something good like this, or you know, I could be listening to something good, or even this. Oh yeah, and I have the CD. But it isn't even with my Pink Floyd CDs. I threw it the other side of my room. Let me try to find it. Here's my copy of A Momentary Lapse of Crap. Oh, I mean Reason, sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm right. I pretty much wrote all over this thing. I scratched out Pink Floyd and put David Gilmour on it. And I scratched out all the parts at the bottom that said Pink Floyd too, because it made me angry every time I saw the name on this thing. Nick Mason, I put not on the album. Rick Wright, I put not in the album. The cover's it's beat up for how many times I threw it. I wrote all over the CD, the disc. Oh, ready for story time? Crap album by Pink Fraud. David Gilmour solo record. And the person on the cover is saying, "This album smells worse than my farts." I don't know if I can say all this stuff on camera. It's pretty explicit, but piece of baby crap. And under Nick Mason and Richard Wright, I put does not appear. I might offend some people saying some of the stuff in here. Fake, fake, fake. Biggest disappointment in history. Oh yeah, and this guy swimming in the pool, I put he drowned himself after listening to this. Avoid this abomination at all costs. Crap fest. Craptastic. I'm saying this the clean way. Levels of crappiness. I put how crappy each song was. Trash. I put Signs of Life, mediocre, Learning to Fly. Not a Floyd song. I put severely overrated. Oh yeah, and this guy saying this album sucks goat balls. Next to Dogs of War, I put Gate. This album, I don't know if I should say that part. Uh, uh, yeah, I just put all kinds of crap in here. Next to New Machine, I put Pointless. And Sorrow, I put Lame. This album stinks. Oh yeah, and look at this part. Yeah, I'm gonna let you read that. And then this guy saying, listen to Umaguma instead, man. He's right. So, we got that part out of the way. Wait, let me do that again. I wanted it to make more of an impact when I throw it. Works for me. Anyway, yes, it's not a Floyd album. I mean, it's good for a David Gilmour album. It's good, you know, it's well put together. It's well crafted. But it's not Pink Floyd. I mean, it's David Gilmour. And there's a million outside songwriters, a million session musicians. It's just fake all over. I mean, it's just an example of a hotshot record producer trying to make some money. I mean, I don't know if I should blame Gilmour for giving in, because maybe he might have got fired if he didn't give in. So, okay, I can understand that, but I mean, times have changed. I mean, they don't need to continue putting it in all the box sets and all that crap. Replace it with relics or something. Like on the Discovery box set, they should have skipped Momentary Lapse and put like all the early singles and, you know, non-album tracks like Biding My Time, all that stuff. You know, not this fake album. I mean, this in some ways sort of is a fake Pink Floyd album, but it's still a Pink Floyd album, okay? I mean, yeah, no right, but, you know, I just don't understand how anyone could even compare the two albums. I mean, this is way more of that. This is dimensions better. I mean, yeah, at least it had a purpose. I mean, Momentary Lapse of Reason had no purpose except for being a Gilmour solo album, which is okay. You know, I wouldn't mind it if it was just a Gilmour album. But, I mean, none of the other members contributed to writing any of the other songs. I mean, it's just fake all over. I mean, and stop saying it's a return to form. It ain't a return to form, okay? There's some of the, I guess, some of the older sounds, but I mean, it's ruined by cheesy 80s production, and it just comes across as bad 80s synth pop. Like in Wikipedia, this album is credited as, or the genre is progressive rock. It's not progressive, it's synth pop and I don't know, synth rock. I mean, I even like the Genesis albums from the 80s better than this. Now, I might like this album better than Big Generator, because that album's just a bore fest. But I don't know, it could be comparable. But Big Generator's a bore fest, but so is this one in some spots. I mean, it's just, you know, some people say, oh, this sounds like their old stuff. No, it doesn't. Just stop with that. It doesn't sound nothing like classic Pink Floyd. So just stop. So let's see. Signs of Life. It's all right. It's decent. It's just it ain't even Rick Wright playing the. I mean, you can look it up. It's Bob Ezrin, and even Gilmour is playing the synths. I mean, Wright might have did a couple of sound effects, but I mean, come on. It's not Pink Floyd, okay? Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. It's just a complete ripoff of Shine On You Crazy Diamond, Part 1. Learning to Fly. You know, I have a love-hate relationship with this song. It's severely overrated, but I mean, I don't know what I think. It's probably the most bearable thing on this album, but it's severely overrated. It gets way too much hype and credit. It almost makes me sick to my stomach that that's one of the most viewed Pink Floyd songs. Because, man, it's just not a Pink Floyd song. Dogs of War, when I was kind of dumb and didn't know much, I kind of liked it. Now it just sucks. It just completely sucks. You know, Dogs of War, a man of hate. I mean, come on. It's so cheesy. It's pretty much garbage for Pink Floyd. One Slip, kind of gay. It's alright. You know, they ripped off Time at the beginning when they went ding 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 ding. They're just trying way too hard to make this a traditional Pink Floyd album. It hurts. On the Turning Away, it's a good song, but I can barely stand it. I can't stand it, really, man. I'm sorry. It's a good song, but I can only stand the end of it. You know, with the solo, and it's alright, the second half, but the first half I can't stand. The On the Turning Away. Yeah. And besides, the song was ruined by 80s production, so that made it worse. Yet another movie, just boring, man. What's good about it besides the solo? I mean, it's the same blah 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 blah. It's the same crap throughout the whole 6-minute song. Christ, with a solo in it. Round and Around this point should be called pointless. Or Round and Around the Universe from being blown away by the final cut. That's what it should have been called. I mean, even the Endless River blows this album. That album had a purpose too. But I mean, where was I? A New Machine. The song's terrible, man. I mean, it has some. It has a. I'll give it this. It has a pretty cool vocal effect, but I mean, come on, you're putting this on a Pink Floyd album? I mean, what were they thinking with this, man? Oh, worst part, there's 2 parts to this. That's what it is, the whole thing. And I did a perfect impression, too. So after that, we get Terminal Frost. It has nice saxophone in it, but it ain't Pink Floyd. It's boring, sorry. You know, I can't listen to the whole thing. Sorrow. Again, severely overrated. It even made the freaking Echoes the best of Pink Floyd thing. What? I mean, really? It just doesn't hold up to the rest of the Pink Floyd epics. I mean, and again, it's ruined by the 80s production yet again, with that cheesy intro. It's ruined by a crappy 80s production. I mean, it's a good song, especially since Gilmour wrote it himself, but I mean, it doesn't hold up. You can't compare it to the rest of their epics. I mean, it has good guitar work, you know. It's a decent song, but kind of too long. It doesn't save the album. Nothing saves this album. You know, I was going to do the new rating system, but I don't feel like it right now. I'm just going to say this, man. Sometimes it's a 5 out of 10 when I'm feeling nice, but that's way too much. I'm just going to say 3 out of 10. That's one of my lowest rated albums ever by the bands that, my favorite bands. But what's even worse is that it's still better than some of the albums by my favorite bands. So that means there's worse albums. Like, it's like even Big Generator might be even worse than this. And Genesis Calling All Stations. Oh no. That's one of the worst albums in history by any good band ever. But yeah, this is an abysmal Pink Floyd album. It would make a decent... If this was a David Gilmour solo album, I'd give it a 6 or a 7. You know, I wouldn't really care. Oh, it's a Gilmour album, it's alright. But since it's Pink Floyd, no, it's not a return to form, so stop saying it. And you don't like it better than the Final Cut, so stop saying you do. And it's not one of your favorite Pink Floyd albums, so stop saying you do. Oh, and some ding-dong said On the Turning Away is an underrated song. It ain't underrated, it's overrated. Anyone that thinks this album's underrated is a complete idiot. I mean, yeah, people have their opinions and like what they like, but that doesn't stop you from being an idiot. You can like this album all you want, but if this can be one of your favorite Pink Floyd albums all you want, but you'll still be an idiot in my book. I'm gonna leave it at that. Got 2 more albums to go. Thanks for watching this. See you on the next one. Ugh.